코미디언 가이사. Llama da su. Llama. Llama da te.
I declare open the final session of the World Summit of Nobel Peace Laureates. We gather here from many parts of the world to honor the victims of Hiroshima. We are here to say that never again a human being shall see a black rain darken our blue sky. We are here to say never again we want nuclear conflicts, wars, deaths. Mayor Akiba, Governor Yuzaki, I wish you know that every citizen in every part of the world feels like a citizen of Hiroshima. Thank you very much.
Okay. Honorable Mayor Akiba, Governor Yuzaki, fellow Nobel Peace Laureates, and representatives of Peace Laureate organizations, ladies and gentlemen. We have just concluded a memorable summit during which we have discussed the continuing threat of nuclear weapons. We have heard the heart-rending testimony of the survivors of the atomic bomb attack on Hiroshima. We have considered the legacy of Hiroshima and have asked whether there can be any security justification for nuclear weapons. We have discussed the threat of nuclear weapons arising from regional conflicts, terrorism and unintentional use, and have considered the progress that mankind has made towards nuclear disarmament. We have analyzed the consequences of nuclear war and have discussed the fundamental illegality and immorality of nuclear weapons. And following our deliberations, we have drafted the Hiroshima Declaration on Nuclear Disarmament, which we shall soon read. The declaration cannot at this stage be supported by all present, particularly those who represent organizations that would have to be consulted. However, the declaration is open for signature and will be circulated to all Peace Prize winners. President Gorbachev has already indicated via teleconference that he will be happy to sign the declaration, as have most of the participants in the summit, including His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We wish to thank Governor Yuzaki, Mayor Akiba, and the people of Hiroshima for their incredibly warm welcome and hospitality. We would like to congratulate them on the exemplary role that Hiroshima continues to play in the struggle for a world without nuclear weapons. In particular, we would like to wish Mayor Akiba and Mayors for Peace every success with their activities to create a safer, better, nuclear weapons-free world. It is with great respect that all of us are here today at this place, which for most is a sacred place. Thank you.
私どもにとりまして、
Now I would like to invite Nobel Peace Laureate Mary Corrigan Maguire for her greetings.
It is with the deepest sadness in our hearts that we come here to remember all those who died in Hiroshima and in Nagasaki when the bomb was dropped on their cities. It is with the deepest respect that we thank the Japanese people for giving us all the opportunity to continue to remember all those who have died in the best way we can, in dedicating ourselves to working for a world without nuclear weapons, war, a world without human beings killing each other. To create such a world, every single one of us has to deepen our love, deepen our compassion, and reach out to everyone in the world today, particularly for the sake of the children, that we give the legacy to our children, a world without violence. This is not a dream. This becomes a reality when we believe passionately in peace, a world without war and weapons, and we work to make our dream come true. Ariaka, Saranora.
And now I would like to invite Nobel Peace Laureate Mohamed Elbaradei for his greetings.
We are all here to commit ourselves to create a different world, different environment. We would like to see a world that's based on cooperation and not confrontation. A world that is based on utmost respect for the sanctity of human life, and a world that does not settle where we settle our differences through killing each other. To do that, we need to understand that we are one human family, irrespective of our race, color, or religion, and that we are our brothers and sisters keepers. And we have to continue to work to make sure that we change our mindset, so at no time we will see a repeat of the atrocities that occurred here at Hiroshima. We are here to reaffirm our commitment, all of us, every one of us, that we will change our world, and we will prevail if we work together and if we set our goal to have a world that based on our humanity, respect for the sanctity of human life, and not on the death and destruction. I thank Mayor Ikeba, I thank the city of Hiroshima, the prefecture of Hiroshima, and I will say, let us make sure that never again we will have another Hiroshima. Thank you very much.
Now I would like to invite Nobel Peace Laureate Jody Williams for her greetings.
Jody Williams 様、お願いいたします。
Ohio. Good morning. It is an honor and a privilege to be again in Hiroshima. It is an honor and a privilege to be here with individual friends who are Peace Laureates, as well as the organizations who also are as much Nobel Peace Laureates as the individuals who are sitting up here. Before I arrived in Hiroshima, I was in Vientiane, Laos, where I was with hundreds of ordinary people like you and me who helped achieve the treaty banning cluster bombs in 2008. There were also many, many members of the international campaign to ban landmines, which I had the privilege of helping create, to ban landmines. Together, the ordinary citizens, civil society, who came together and pushed governments to do what they would not have done without us, to create the Mine Ban Treaty, the Cluster Munition Convention. They have asked me to send their love, warmth, and support to the people of Hiroshima, my friends who I was just with in Laos. All of us who are all ordinary citizens from about 90 countries around the world came together with one goal: to get rid of these weapons. And by working together, we created the extraordinary, which was civil society taking away weapons that governments had been using for generations. Every one of us here today has the power to do the extraordinary. And that magic is to get rid of nuclear weapons forever. And we do it by ordinary citizens like you and me working together to make governments do what the world already wants them to do. 70% of the ordinary citizens of the world do not want nuclear weapons. That is all of us here. It is people in every country of the world. The few governments who have nuclear weapons must listen to us. They cannot terrorize the world anymore with their nuclear addiction and their need to be powerful with nuclear weapons. I invite each and every one of you to be extraordinary and work together with all of us in the campaigns who have already banned weapons to get rid of nuclear weapons now and forever. The Nobel Peace Laureates here today are willing to work with you to make that happen. Please, let's work together. Arigato, ohayo, y goodbye.
And now I would like to invite Nobel Peace Laureate Shirin Ebadi for her greetings.
I am here today to address the kind people of Hiroshima and to express my sympathy and respect for those who lost their lives in Hiroshima and with this city. Each time I visit your city, I carry two opposing feelings. One of deep sadness that weighs on me for the suffering that you have endured. And yet, I cannot help but to admire the greatness of your spirit in forgiveness and in forgiving what you endured. Rather than using your energy to be for revenge, you have mobilized it to rebuild your city and your country, and we are here today to behold the beauty of what you have constructed. Your approach can be a model for all of us in a world that is filled with crisis and prone to conflicts, so that we may all learn and appreciate how we can focus our attention to rebuilding a world filled with peace. We are here to promise you that we will use all our power to ensure that another Hiroshima will not occur in terms of the event that happened here, and to ensure that the world will move forward in peace, free of nuclear weapons. And to achieve this goal, we cannot have unless each and every individual that commits himself or herself to peace will work with us to ensure that we will build a world free of nuclear weapons.
And now I would like to invite Nobel Peace Laureate, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, for his greetings.
I would like to seek permission. Where this one? Okay. When I see the audience face, then I got the feeling of I'm talking with human being. When I cannot see clearly, then I don't know to whom I'm talking. I just want 3 points share with you. Number one, since my first visit here, a very moving sort of visit here. Since then, I think the spirit and message of Hiroshima and Nagasaki now growing. Now still we need more effort. The spirit of Nagasaki and Hiroshima, your spirit must reach every part of the world. One thing I admire, the spirit of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, you simply want to know more people how bad the nuclear weapon. Not, you expressing some kind of feeling of revenge. That I think really very good. I noticed many of my Japanese friends, they never show some kind of negative feeling towards the United States. And as well as German people, I never saw one German who expressing some kind of negative feeling towards other allied people. So, past is past. Now we must look forward. Now ecological sort of global warming, and also global economy, and all these now teach us we should not think just self-interest, self-centered interest, individual level or national level. Entire nearly 7 billion human beings should act like one human family. So, so all differences, the potential of conflict, we must utilize dialogue with spirit of reconciliation. That's the only way to solve problem. Therefore, using force is outdated. That I think, people, I think 7 billion human beings, I should know that. Now this is new reality, new time. We must think according to new reality, not thinking old-fashioned. Another point I want to appeal from this place to various leaders of different religious traditions. All major religions talks compassion, forgiveness, tolerance. So please, all these religious leaders should take more active role, not just praying in their church or in their cathedral or in their temple. Must come out and do something, promoting these, these values. I want to appeal from this place, and then also I want to appeal, since I have many, among my friends, many scientists. So I want to appeal scientist group. They know what's the real consequences and what expensive these weapons. So they should tell more to public, bring conviction. Now using this awful weapon is really mutual destruction. Not question of one side victory, one side defeat. No, mutual destruction. One my sort of friend, one scientist, now he no more, he told me about 20,000 scientists, some group, you see, they occasionally, you see, meeting here. I know, through him I know, you see, there are some groups. So scientists also should speak more. Then I think business people also have the responsibility. If really nuclear holocaust happens, their business will destroy. So the businessmen or women, they also should involve more sort of activities in these sort of noble work. And another point, I really believe, and of course, the later part of the 20th century, it actually sort of demonstrated the world belongs to people. World not belongs to the government. So finally, the major change depends on people. I think the 21st century, 20th century, later part of the 20th century demonstrated many positives of change come through, not from United Nations, but come from popular peaceful movement. So ultimately, people have the power to change the world. So when we talk people, combination of individual. So we, each of us, have the potential to make a contribution for people's city movement. So that I want to share with you. So in order to build peaceful, happier world, or peaceful and happier century, they ultimately depend on public people. So now here, I am Buddhist. My daily sort of practice, I also, some part of my sort of practice the prayer, but I doubt the effect of prayer for individual. Okay, but for global level, I don't think much effect. So action is more important than just a prayer. I think from the Buddhist viewpoint, sound looks, I think, not nice. But I feel, since the problem which we human beings facing here, not created by God, but created ourselves. So we must make effort to overcome these problems. If these problems created by God, then pray to God. Of course, Buddhists, no idea of creator. We are self-creator. The entire world is self-creation. That's the Buddhist view. So there is a lot of differences in these major religious traditions. But doesn't matter. I believe, you see, action is the final sort of decision maker. So action, not government, action of the people is very important. Please keep these things. Thank you very much.
And now I would like to invite on stage the mayor of Hiroshima, Tadatoshi Akiba.
ノーベル平和賞受賞者の皆様、そして関係者の皆様、素晴らしいサミットを広島の地で開催してくださり、心よりお礼を申し上げます。そして平和の聖地であるここ平和記念公園において、被爆者をはじめ広島市民、さらには核兵器廃絶と世界恒久平和の実現を願う世界の大多数の市民とともに行動することを表明してくださいましたことに、深く感謝申し上げます。
広島の遺産、 核兵器のない世界をテーマとした2010年ノーベル平和賞受賞者世界サミットのすべてのセッションが無事終了し、本日、平和記念公園において平和アピールが開催されますことを心から嬉しく思います。フレデリック・デクラーク元南アフリカ共和国大統領閣下をはじめとするノーベル平和賞受賞者の皆様が被爆65年を迎えたここ広島の地に集まり、その英知を集めて人類共通の課題である核兵器のない平和な世界の実現に向けて真剣な議論をなされましたことに深く敬意を表します。また本日、平和サミット賞を受賞されるロベルト・バッジョさん、誠におめでとうございます。栄えある平和サミット賞の受賞は、サッカーのファンタジスタとして著名なロベルト・バッジョさんが、これまで世界の平和の実現に向けて実施されてきた取り組みが評価されたものであり、心からお喜びを申し上げます。そして平和サミット特別賞を受賞される日本原水爆被害者団体協議会の皆さん。
This year, the 2010 Peace Summit Award is awarded to Roberto Baggio, one of the leading activists for the release of Aung San Suu Kyi, for his support to several important activities in favor of hospitals, foundations, and charities in many countries of the world, raising funds for the earthquake that occurred in Haiti, providing financial support to projects to help the island recover, calling to save the lives of people affected by the Nargis cyclone in Burma, and support of the fight against bird flu, which has sparked a dangerous and deadly epidemic in Laos. During these years, Roberto Baggio, FAO Goodwill Ambassador from 2002, has strongly supported UN and FAO initiatives to combat poverty and hunger, offering his popularity and his personal engagement to increase world awareness on this topic among young generation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Mr. de Klerk and Dr. Shirin Ebadi to give the 2010 Peace Summit Award to Roberto Baggio.
デクラーク様、エバディ様からロベルト・バッジョ氏に平和サミット賞を授与していただきます。
Please, Roberto, come on stage.
ロベルト様、ステージにお願いいたします。
Intanto, buongiorno a tutti.
Good morning to everyone.
Gentili signori, illustri
Dear
uomini
ladies
di
and
pace,
gentlemen, distinguished
desidero
men and
innanzitutto
women of
ringraziarvi per il
peace,
riconoscimento
first of
con
all,
cui
I would
avete
like to
voluto
thank you
onorarmi
for the
qui ad
recognition
Hiroshima.
with which you honor me
E so di
here
poter
in
condividere
Hiroshima.
con tutti voi
And I know
la
I
profonda
can share
gioia
with all of you
per la
the
liberazione
great
di
joy
Aung
for
San
the
Suu Kyi.
liberation of Aung San
Credo
Suu
che non
Kyi.
sia
I
casuale
believe
che
that
abbiamo
it is
potuto
not casual that
insieme
together
condividere questo
we could
momento da
share
tutti molto
this
a
moment
lungo
long
inseguito e
overdue.
desiderato.
The 21st
Il
century
XXI
has
secolo è
begun leaving
iniziato
behind the two
lasciandoci alle spalle i
terrible
due
world
terribili
conflicts,
conflitti mondiali,
after which
dai
an
quali però
absolute
è emersa
truth
una
has
verità
emerged.
assoluta.
Nothing
Niente
is
più
more
tragico
tragic and cruel than war, and nothing is more precious than peace.
Grazie.
This year, the summit, together with the local authorities of Hiroshima, has decided to dedicate an honorary Peace Summit Award to the Japan Confederation of Atomic and Hydrogen Bomb Sufferers Organization for their courage and sufferings and for dedicating their lives to teaching the rest of the world about the horrors of nuclear war, bringing peace, justice, and security to this world. And now I would like to ask His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Jody Williams to give the award to Mr. Sunao Tsuboi, a survivor of the A-bombing, representing today the Confederation. Please, Mr. Tsubai come on stage.
ただいま紹介をしていただきました日本原水爆被害者団体協議会の代表をしております坪井と申します。私たちの足跡についてはインターネットあるいは書物等で全て明らかにしておりますので、今日ここで私たちの姿を話をすることはやめます。もう時間も相当経っておりますのでね、今日は立派な賞をいただきましたので、そのお礼だけを限ってお話しさせていただきたいと思います。さて、ところで私はここに生きております。20歳の時に原爆を受けましたので、ただいま85歳であります。で、2つのがんを患い、心臓病に悩み、貧血に苦しんでいる私ですが、まだいつまでも最後までネバーギブアップです。本当に今日はありがとうございました。
On the last summit's day, Nobel Peace Prize winners gathering at the summit present a final declaration as a result of the summit's works. So now I wish to invite Mrs. Jody Williams to take the floor in order to present the final declaration.
The Hiroshima Declaration on the Abolition of Nuclear Weapons. Signed Nobel Peace Laureates and representatives of the Nobel Peace Prize organizations gathered in Hiroshima November 12th through 14th, 2010, after listening to the testimonies of the Hibakusha, have no doubt that the use of nuclear weapons against any people must be regarded as a crime against humanity and should henceforth be prohibited. We pay tribute to the courage and the suffering of the Hibakusha who have survived the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August of 1945, and honor those who have dedicated their lives to teaching the rest of the world about the horrors of nuclear war. Like them, we pledge ourselves to work for a future committed to peace, justice, and security without nuclear weapons and war. Nuclear weapons are unique in their destructive power, in the unspeakable human suffering they cause, in the impossibility of controlling their effects in space and time, in the risks of escalation they create, and in the threat they pose to the environment, to future generations, and indeed to the survival of humanity. We strongly endorse this assessment by the International Committee of the Red Cross, 3 times recognized with the Nobel Peace Prize for its humanitarian work. 25 years ago in Geneva, the leaders of the 2 largest nuclear powers declared that a nuclear war cannot be won and must never be fought. There has been some substantive progress since then. The agreements on intermediate-range nuclear forces, strategic arms reduction, and unilateral and bilateral initiatives on tactical nuclear weapons have eliminated tens of thousands of weapons from the world. We welcome the signing by the United States and Russia of the New START Treaty and the Consensus Nuclear Disarmament Action Plan that was adopted by the 2010 Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty Review Conference.
25年前、私たちは歓迎します。
Nevertheless, there are still enough nuclear weapons to destroy life on Earth many times over. The proliferation of nuclear weapons and the possibility of their use by acts of terrorism are additional causes for deep concern. The threats posed by nuclear weapons did not disappear with the end of the Cold War. Nuclear weapons cannot be disinvented, but they can and must be outlawed, just as chemical and biological weapons have been outlawed, landmines and cluster munitions have been declared illegal. Nuclear weapons, the most inhumane threat of all, should likewise be outlawed in keeping with the 2010 Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty Review Conference final document, which reaffirmed the need for all states at all times to comply with applicable international law, including international humanitarian law. Efforts to rid the world of nuclear weapons must proceed along with measures to strengthen international law, demilitarize international relations and political thinking, and address human and security needs. Nuclear deterrence, power projection, and national prestige as arguments to justify acquiring and retaining nuclear weapons are totally outdated and must be rejected. We support the UN Secretary General's 5-point proposal on nuclear disarmament and proposals by others to undertake work on a universal treaty to prohibit the use, development, production, stockpiling, or transfer of nuclear weapons and nuclear weapons technologies and components, and to provide for their complete and verifiable elimination. Finally, we have 5 calls that we make in our declaration. Whoops, 6.
すいません、6つでした。
1, we call upon heads of government, parliaments, mayors, and citizens to join us in affirming that the use of nuclear weapons is immoral and illegal. Second, we call for the ratification without delay of the New START agreement by the United States and Russia, and for follow-on negotiations for deeper cuts in all types of nuclear weapons. Third, we call on all the nuclear weapons possessor states to make deep cuts in their own existing arsenals. Fourth, we call on the relevant governments to take urgent steps to implement the proposals agreed upon in the 2010 Nuclear Non-Proliferation Review Conference final document towards realizing the objectives of the 1995 resolution on the Middle East. Fifth, we call on China, the United States, Egypt, Iran, Israel, and Indonesia to ratify, and on China, Pakistan, and North Korea to sign and ratify the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty that has already been ratified by 153 nations so that the treaty can be brought into full legal force. Sixth, we call upon nations to negotiate a universal treaty to abolish nuclear weapons in partnership with civil society. And in conclusion, to ensure that the horrors of Nagasaki and Hiroshima never occur again, and to build a world based on cooperation and peace, we issue this call of conscience. We must all work together to achieve a common good that is practical, moral, legal, and necessary: the abolition of nuclear weapons. Arigato.
To conclude, I would like to call on stage the chairman of the summit, Mr. Walter Veltroni, for his farewell greetings.
最後にウォルター・ベルトローニ共同議長が閉会のご挨拶をいたします。
To conclude, I just have two words to say now.
最後になりましたが、二言だけ申し上げます。
ありがとう、広島。
I wish to thank you all for having taken part in this peace appeal ceremony. A press conference will follow in the International Conference Center. See you next year. Arigato.